Sir, Namo Buddhaya, sir.
Namo Buddhaya. Remember Venerable Mahinda and Sangamitha went to Sri Lanka, our history. The Indian brought the Buddhism to the properly as a gift to the Sri Lanka, Emperor Asoka's time. Those days in Sri Lanka is become a civilized. Making stupa, making temples, making other all kind of language and cultural, all kind of thing brought from India to Sri Lanka. That's why they become more civilized in Sri Lanka, and that's the remaining. So these days here, I'm thinking same way it have to be education, a real education, and Buddhism is a part of that, and the Buddhist attitude, Buddhist behavior, that kind of important things, the side by side. They want to learn. Someone who engineering, someone who doing doctor for the medical field, whomever they are, and the side of them to learn comparative religious. Maybe the religious about Buddhism. If someone interesting, they can learn and they can practice. They can arrange for the vacational time retreats. That kind of thing they can do it that way for them to reach their point, and they can enjoy it. And how important our life to when the people get pain and suffering and difficulties, they need the peaceful teaching and how to live with the comfortably. So that's why this important teaching, peace teaching, is very important for them to have their life. I hope it's not for the all that because we know the after first century Buddha's passed away, they had the Buddhist council, and the same thing 3 and 4 and happened, and even one happened in Sri Lanka too, and now 1956 happened in Sri Lanka, and now it is good time to do it. Actually, the people, when they spread the Dhamma, their own opinion, they may be breaking original teaching. So that's why wise people together, get together, learn together, spend the time, they giving the right rules, Vinaya, Abhidhamma, Sutra. If they decide to the right thing, right path, right direction, I think this is the time for it. It is need more support from the government, more support for our devotee, more support from our society, healthy, and someone who wealthy people, if they can support, they can do it. This is take a little time, at least 6 months will take it to do the
Arrangements, sir.
Do the properly process. Because Buddhism is, we cannot talk without peace. Peace, when we talk about the peace, the Buddhism is over there. And Buddhism is not the religion sometimes, it's a way of life. And even though any faith, someone who have it, they can practice their own faith while practicing Buddhist side, like a meditation, like Buddhist good teaching about the behavior and loving kindness thing, equanimity, sympathetic joy, and that kind of great quality they can practice, but it's not bothering for their own, the person's own faith. That someone having their own faith, they don't need to withdraw it. They can continue the Buddhism with their own faith, can do the better result. Absolutely. It never said no. It is according to Satipatthana Sutta, according to Buddha's other teaching, we can do it. The thing is, even the monks and nuns and laymen and laywomen more materially attached to the certain things in the world. And if many qualified the monks and nuns who are still in the Sri Lanka, also some caves monks still living there. So we feel they have like a Venerable Balanguda Ananda, he passed away. We feel he became a kind of stage And so even the arahantship is not empty, anybody can approach, still they have opportunity. That is a very good thing. Memory come to the historical way. And Buddha's time, Buddha actually didn't bring up something different, because the existing faithful things, people were worshipping tree, people were worshipping mountain, people were worshipping sun and moon, that all kind of rituals and worshipping the Brahma and all kind of thing it happening. But same time Buddha never changed that teaching. He gave the new interpretation for that thing. They call Brahmati Mata Pitaro. Real Brahma is your mom and dad. And that's the quality. Brahma had this great quality. Brahma had the metta, karuna, mudita, upekha, loving kindness, kindness and sympathetic joy and equanimity. That kind of teaching is a Brahma quality, divine quality. That kind of quality coming from our mother and father. That's why instead of the invisible God Brahma to worship your mom and dad. Do the ritualistic supporting for your mother and father, because they brought to this world to you. That's the way the Buddhist interpretation come to that way. But he never changed the other different faith, but he gave the good interpretation for the people had the kind of mythology. And that way, so Brahma is a great, according to Hindu teaching, he's a God, and one Trimurti is one of the God, and the Brahmin caste also for the rulers, they keep that kind of Sudra, that's kind of exactly that kind of caste system. But Buddha said, Ganga, Yamuna, Acharavati, all that ocean, all these rivers come to the ocean, become one ocean. And the same way, someone who comes to the whatever caste, they become a Buddhahood, Buddhism become a Buddhist, and a monk or nun, or they become take a precept, 5 precepts, or at least they become a Buddha, the Buddhist society. They don't have any caste, they don't have any thing, and they all equal. Even the king come, still the respect to the monks who had their quality. Quality is important than other kind of pattern and kind of thing. So this is an important thing. No matter whatever caste, whatever thing, we have to practice quality. That's why early 20 years Buddha never given any precept. Everybody were looking for the Dhamma, Anicca, Dukkha, Anatma, and learning about the Four Noble Truth and Eightfold Path, learning about the depending origination. That way we can become more knowledge about the about your outside world and inner world. And inner world, if someone can understand your inside, then easy to apply to outside. Better to, rather than teach into the outside world, if you are focused on your inner world, if you become a good, reliable, great human being, that more blessing to the world. So that's why individually you better be good, great behavior according to Buddha's teaching, and following their precept and their Four Noble Truth and Eightfold Path, practice their life. That effect to the outside your family and villagers and everybody. That's why this is very important thing. It's not believing, but it is keeping practically practicing, and their result can see. Only thing is people, Buddha like a doctor, he given all the prescription for the people to take it. Only thing is they saying, oh, nice prescription, nice medicine, they saying, but never using their drugs, that kind of medicine. As a result, they never get the result. Only thing is, path is existing, but no one following that path. That's the problem. That's not the Buddha's problem. That's our own problem. Right, that's very good thing. I remember Venerable Wakali, when the Buddha's teaching time, he come to front of him and he's always loved to see the Buddha. Buddha's so beautiful. He very happy to see the Buddha. So, and then Buddha told him, once see the Dhamma, he can see the me. So that's why Buddha's teaching, like a Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path, if someone see it, if someone learn it, that person can see the real Buddha. And Buddha is so great, and not physically, but his teaching is good. And even though that Buddha's teaching, Buddha teach also the Dhamma. Dhamma using for the eradicate all the suffering and pain and receiving the peace and happiness. That's the Dhamma purpose. So Dhamma, someone see, he can see the Buddha. Same time, Dhamma can use for the liberate from this suffering world. So Dhamma is very important. That's why we follow the not the all the rituals and bowing down in the Buddhas, but that is additional. But the real thing is we have to follow the Buddha's teaching. That's the more than big ceremonial thing. Ceremonial doesn't make any sense, but for your enlightenment, your freedom, you better to practice see the Dhamma, follow the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma. You can liberate from trouble and difficulties and sansaric pain. I met so many Buddhist faith group and different group, different language, different culture. There's a kind of mixing culture come to the mixed bowl together, came to the respect to the Lord Buddha, and this is a holy land, and we're very happy meeting all that people, variety of their cultural, religious and faithful activities. I enjoy seeing that thing because we are working separately, and sometimes Theravada, sometimes Sri Lankan Buddhist, sometimes Thai Buddhist, something separate. But when come to the Buddha Gaya, they all work one purpose. Everybody want to the respect to the Lord Buddha. They all work together with the more confidence about Buddhism and Buddha's teaching.
Sir, long back we heard and we believe that King Ashoka sent Mahendra and Sanghmitra to Sri Lanka for the promotion of Theravada, for the promotion of Buddhism, sir, and propagation. Sir, this time Sri Lanka is coming back to India, and it's like a payback to the Dhamma, sir. Do you feel, sir?
You pointed out very nice, such a great thing, and his great Emperor Ashoka's son and daughter sent him to the Sri Lanka, and the wonderful thing happened, and they ordained many monks and nuns, and when the first Buddha, Mahinda, Venerable Mahinda asked King Tissa, and to establish the Buddhism they were supporting, and but the conversation said until the country person ordained, it cannot establish the Buddhism, like import, that's it, and the people from outside, the people who have to, the Sri Lankan have to become monks or nun, then easy to develop the Buddhism, and Buddhism really can establish. So this is very good analogy, very good memory of the history, and this is the time now to revaluing the Buddhism in again within India. The Indian young man and woman need to ordain here according to the Theravada tradition. That may be more effective. There's a time point. Many Indians, girls and boys they are so interested, they're curious, they ask a question, they want to learn Buddhism. They're a little confused. Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, Tibet, all kind of things here. But now we have to give them to the education what it is exactly going on. I visited South India also, and many temples, the very beautiful temples around. But many young people also wish some already ordained, under the teachers. But only thing is I can see, not only for they are here also, I can see the no enough guidelines, not enough Dhamma teacher to train them, teach them, and to show them the right path. I can see that kind of things really needed, not only for the attitude training, the training about if they learn Pali language, if someone provide that information to someone who Hindi speak people study Pali, they have to provide any educational support for them. That may be much great for them to see the bottom to top.
Sir, do you feel that being a Buddhist and studying Buddhism makes a good monk?
There's a lot of opportunity these days, internet and other media way they can learn Buddhism. But still, I really happy to see the training under the one of the teacher, because our Buddha is a great teacher to us, and he ordained the other rest of the people of those days, and they ordained other people, and this is a kind of chain. Need someone to not only the knowledge about Buddhism, they need the kind of guru. Buddha is a great guru, and we call Tilo Guru. He is a guru to the whole universe, and same way is somebody to need the teacher in order to continue their chain. Chanting helpful to the because the Buddhism from Buddha's time to today, and before the printing system come, everybody they carry on by memorizing. So each student, each lineage, they carry on by heart and memorizing. So for the purpose for the memory, they keep in the kind of things in the like literature, like gatha, which is that called sloka or gatha, and that way the people easy to memorize. So that's the one thing. Other thing is the Pali study much more helpful to the learn more about Buddhist history and literature. So that's why Pali is important as original teaching, even though it was our Buddha Ghosa Mahathera, the South Indian monk, visited to Sri Lanka 5th century. There was a Sinhalese Tripitaka, and he translated the Pali. He is a very scholar monk. He fortunately came from India those days, and he actually I can see there's a pagoda here, memory for the Venerable Buddha Ghosa. He is a very scholar monk who came to the Anuradhapura and teach the Mahasangha, training the Mahasangha Pali. The Pali language, everybody is like a Latin language for the church. That is the language. Pali is our not the speaking language. That is for our religious language. I'm Bhante Katogastota Uparatana. I originally from Sri Lanka. 40 years ago, I moved to the United States of America, Washington DC. Then now I have the temple. I start the temple in Marryland Buddhist Viharaya, nearby capital city. And I'm a Buddhist chaplain at the American University, Washington DC since 1989 to now. And I am Bhante Gunaratana is my teacher. He ordained me, and he live in West Virginia Bhavana Monastery. I assist him. I also part of the board of director that Washington Buddhist Bhavana Society.
बिल्कुल सर. नमो बुद्धाय सर.
Namo Buddha.
dưới cội Bồ đề. A Di Đà Phật ạ. Đủ rồi đúng không ạ?